In Sefer Ha-Aggadah, there's a section dealing with great personalities of the time of the Talmud and the Mishnah. So I'm looking on page 157. There's a story about a man by the name of Abba Hilkiah. Abba Hilkiah. Abba means father, but also means a scholar. And Abba Hilkiah was the grandson of Honi Me'agel. Honi Me'agel is a famous character. People used to go to him when they were praying for rain, and he would draw a circle in the sand or on the dirt and stand in the circle and say, "I'm not leaving the circle until you bring rain," and rain would come. That was the grandfather, and there are legends about him. But here's a story about Abba Hilkiah that's more down to earth. They say, פעם אחת נצרך העולם לגשמים, שיגרו אצלו שני תלמידי חכמים שיבקש רחמים. באו לביתו ולא מצאוהו. One time there was a drought and they needed rain, so the rabbis prayed and it didn't work, so they sent a delegation of two rabbis, to go get this Abba Hilkiah to pray for them. So they go to his house, they can't find him. He's not home. Where is he? He's in the field working. הלכו אצלו לשדה ומצאוהו שהוא עודר. And when they went to the field, he was digging, he was plowing the ground. נתנו לו שלום ולא הסביר להם פניו. They say hello, they greeted him, he didn't greet them back, didn't talk to them. לערב ליקט עצים והוליך לביתו, היה טעון העצים והמעדר על כתפו אחת וטליתו על כתפו שנייה. So at night time, in the evening, time to get home, so he gathered some wood fire and put it on his shoulder with the shovel and the wood on one shoulder and his robe on the other shoulder, meaning he's only wearing something simple, but the additional robe is on his shoulder, folded. כל הדרך לא היה נועל מן עליו, כשהגיע למים נעל מן עליו. The whole way, and now the story tells us a series of strange things that Abba Hilkiah did, and the rabbis would later ask him, why did you do that? So he walks barefoot in the field. But then they had to cross a stream, a water stream, and he puts his shoes on and crosses the river, and then he takes them off. כשהגיע לעיר, יצאה אשתו כשהיא מקושטת. כשהגיע לביתו נכנסה אשתו תחילה, ואחר כך נכנסו החכמים. So when they got home, his wife came out of the house to greet him. She's all dressed up with makeup, and she's ready to go, they're going out for dinner. But no, they go home. And when they went home, his wife went first. He entered the house after her, and only then he let the rabbis in. When he sat down to eat, he ate by himself, and he didn't invite the rabbis, the guests, to eat with him. פרס פת לתינוקות, לגדול נתן פרוסה אחת ולקטן נתן שתיים. And then when he served the food, he had his wife and two children. He gave the older kid one slice of bread, and the younger kid 2 slices. Then he told his wife, I know that the rabbis only came to our house to ask me to pray for rain. Still, this whole time, he didn't talk to them yet. He says, I know they came to ask for rain. But he says, I don't want to take credit for it if it happens. Let's go upstairs for 1 second and pray. And maybe rain will come, and then we don't have to, we're excused. So they went upstairs. He went and stood in one corner, and she went and stood in another corner, and they both prayed for rain. And then the rain, there's a cloud, they actually see it, a cloud rising on her side of the house, and started raining. So then they go down, and very casually he tells the rabbis, Baruch HaMakom, שלא יצריך אתכם לאבא חלקיה. So thank God you don't need me. I know you came for rain. It's already raining. You're dismissed. Go home. So his whole behavior looks strange. He also looks a little rude, a little brash. Why are you dealing with him like that? So they said, no need to pretend. We know that the rain came because of you. But we want to know why you did all these strange things. This is not the way people behave. Meaning, first of all, they want to know, when we came to visit you and we greeted you, you didn't answer us. And we learn a lot of things from this story. First of all, what we learn is that you have such a great tzaddik, is a righteous person, someone who is at a level, according to the story, who could ask for immediate delivery. Right? This is faster than Amazon. Even when they have, drones, it takes an hour to deliver. Here, he goes upstairs, he prays for rain, and rain comes down. So this is really a sort of a direct connection with God. But what does he do? He's not sitting in the Beit Midrash or in the yeshiva studying all day. He's at the field working. Meaning, you could be a righteous person, maybe that's how you should be, and live a normal life. The learning Torah takes place at the initial stage of life. You prepare yourself for that, and then when you go to work, you apply your knowledge of Torah in everything you do, and that in itself is considered the life of Torah. So he's a working man. Now they ask, why didn't you greet us back? Amar lahem, sechir yom hayiti, ve'amarti lo etbatel. An amazing lesson. He says, I'm an employee. I'm not an independent man. My time is paid for by my employer. I cannot waste time on idle talk. I'll start talking to you, you'll talk back to me. I won't do my job the way I have to. It's an amazing concept of business ethic, of work ethic. This we should, take this and send it to all the workers in the modern office today. How much time is wasted on surfing and texting, and people really are. It's a serious ethical problem.
It's like stealing.
Right. So now they say, they say, you didn't make sense. You have a robe, fold it on your shoulder, put the wood on it, so you don't scratch your shoulder, you don't hurt your shoulder. He says, this robe is not mine. I borrowed it. And the lender gave me the talit, it's not a tzitzit, it's a robe, to cover myself, but not to wear it in a way that the wood will destroy it. Again, sensitivity to people's property. He says, why didn't you wear shoes when you were walking and only in the water? He says, when I walk in the field, I can see what's in front of me. If there are thorns or snakes, then I could avoid it. But in the water, I can't see it, so I have to protect my feet. This is awareness to his own possessions, because he's not very wealthy. Shoes are considered luxury, and he keeps it only for real necessity. Right? He says, now, something else that we didn't read before. It says when he was passing in a path where there were thorns around, if you know the fields in Israel, there are thorns all over. The most common is a relative of the artichoke, chashuf.
Right.
It's called dardar or barkan. In Hebrew is a purple flower. It's a beautiful thing.
There is and it's a small, very small
thorn.
Artichoke. They're small artichoke, but very skin.
And the thorns are
Yes.
So when he passed by the thorns, he raised his robe, the other robe that they were he pulled it up, which is the opposite. You would think, make sure that your pants or your robe is on. So they said, why did you raise it? What happened? He says, "Mipnei shezema ale arucha ve'ezenma ale arucha." He says, my flesh can heal, but if I tear my robes, it's not going to heal.
My new one.
Again, extreme awareness. He says, now they ask him, why did your wife come out so prepared, to go out? Sort of. He says, "Shelo eten einai be'isha acheret." He says, she has to be the apple of my eye. I have to think only about her. So even he doesn't trust himself that he would not think about another woman. So they are there for each other. He goes to work.
No temptation.
No temptation. His wife is welcoming him, and right today it might sound like chauvinist, right? So the man comes home and he needs, his wife. It's not for her. It's about her, not about her serving him, but rather about her being up and about, welcoming him. And it could be the other way around. If the woman works all day out and the husband is home, right? He should be the one giving her the good feeling when she comes home. If they both come at the same time, then it's a tough situation. But the whole idea is that really the couple are there for each other. Anyway, now they ask, why did your wife walk in first, and then you, and then us? You would have thought that you would let her and then let them in. He says, Mishum she'en atem bedukim li. He says, I don't know you. I don't know that, for me everybody's suspicious. You're going to the house with my wife. It could be, again, it's like a little bit to the extreme, but it shows you that it's an important lesson. He doesn't judge them by their external appearance, which we are too easy to do it today. You see someone with a beard and a hat, rabbi. He says, I don't know who you are. No, I don't. Yeah, I'm recording. To become a rabbi like that, you need to wait 30, 40 days for your beard to grow and to get the right store to buy the hat and the suit, but who knows what's inside, so I don't know who you are. Of course, back then they didn't wear hats. Just an example. It says, "Kshe'yashavta lis'od, mipnei ma lo amarta lanu bo us'adu." Why didn't you sa'adu, right? Why did you invite us to eat with you? He says, I didn't have enough food. And I knew that if I would offer you, you would decline, because you're probably sensitive also. And then what will happen? I just pretended to be a nice person. Right? Ali haziku li hachamim tova b'chinam. This is actually something that later on was legislated in halakha. They say, don't take credit for something that you don't deserve. For example, the example they bring is this. Let's say you had a precious bottle of wine. And then, you were waiting for a good opportunity to open it. And you say, okay, you know what, this Pesach, this Saturday night, I'm going to open this bottle. Okay. You go to shul, Erev Pesach, and you see an old friend. What are you doing here? Oh, I'm just visiting, I got stuck, I don't have where to go. Come over, come to my house. You are my guest for the Seder. Okay, the guy comes over and you say, you know what? Because you're here, I have this precious bottle of wine, I'm going to open it for you. And you feel so good. It's not true. You were going to open it anyway. You cannot do that. It's an amazing, again, idea of the sensitivity of how you deliver this, your relationships towards others. To be transparent, to be honest. And they say, why do you give the older kid one slice and the other one two? It says, this one is the older kid is at home, the younger kid is in the Bet HaMidrash. Now some people understand that because he studies Torah, he deserves more food. But that's not the point. It's the same idea that I said in the beginning, that Abba Hilkiah was working in the field. The idea was, up to a certain age, you study. Then, you grow older, you start working. So the kid who's in the Bet HaMidrash, the younger kid, he's there all day. They didn't have vending machines. So he doesn't have food. So he needs to get more food because he didn't have anything during the day. The other kid was at home. So once at a time, he grabs something from the kitchen and eats. Finally, they ask him, why did the cloud, the rain, they know where they were standing. He says, why did your wife, why was your wife's prayer answered first? Is she more righteous than you? He says, she's home, and when a poor person comes and asks for tzedakah, she gives him food, which he could eat right away. But if a poor man comes to me, I give him money, and then he has to go and use the money and buy. And so her hospitality and her charity is of a greater level than mine. So all in all, that we don't know that all the details in the story happened as they were, or they put it together to send a moral message. But altogether, it creates a picture of people who really pay attention to everything they do, not off the cuff. And I think in our daily life, we run into situations where we say something that could be offensive, when we pretend to be who we're not, when we trust people when we shouldn't. And Abba Hilkiah teaches us to be really aware at every junction. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.